Hector Hueso is driving down Highland Avenue in National City when he sees the tent.
Okay, we've got some issues here.
Yeah.
Look at that. We have a tent right in front of the bank. That's not good.
Hueso is a caseworker on the city's homeless outreach team. The tent is worrying because it's on private property, right in front of a Wells Fargo. They're going to have to ask the owner to move it. Then his partner, Kiana Williamson, interrupts. She recognizes the tent's owner.
Wait, that's, oh, yes. Oh, he thinks we're by ourselves. We can talk to him. Come on.
It turns out it's Gonzalez, someone they've been talking to for months now, a client of theirs. Even though Williamson and Hueso are here to tell him that he has to move his things, Gonzalez is happy to see them. He says the two outreach workers have been helping him for months now, with a new tent and a camping stove to heat up coffee on cold days, and scheduling appointments with Medi-Cal.
I was struggling so badly in July finding, and now my life is getting better.
For almost a year now, National City has been experimenting with a different way for the city to reach out to its unhoused residents. In most cities, this kind of thing, going out and talking to people experiencing homelessness, would fall to the police, like in San Diego and Chula Vista. Outreach is a vital part of the response to homelessness. That's because it's proactive and tries to bring services to where people are, instead of waiting for them to call a hotline or walk into a shelter. But for a long time, critics have questioned whether police should be the ones leading that work. Dr. Odilka Santiago is an assistant professor of sociology at the University of San Diego.
We are increasingly relying on law enforcement, which is supposed to deal with criminal problems, to deal with social problems. And so they're not adequately trained to necessarily provide trauma-informed care.
Still, that's the default for many cities because of worries about drug use and violence. That's how it used to work here in National City. The city had its own hot team of police officers. They would reach out to people they saw on the street, even sometimes build connections. But they were also juggling other police work. They didn't have the training to stay in touch and manage individual needs. And officials say the approach wasn't helping people get into housing. So last year, National City started something different. They hired 2 trained caseworkers, people who have experience with homelessness outreach and know how to build trust, Kiana Williamson and Hector Hueso. They called it the Homeless Outreach and Mobile Engagement Unit, the HOME team.
The more you know about them, the better you can assist them.
Williamson says you can't be afraid to talk about how people became unhoused.
My point to talk about that is to be able to connect them to a service. I don't want to just provide hygiene kits. That's not outreach. That's not outreach. Outreach is engaging an individual, and holding hope for them.
Williamson and Hueso spend the day driving around and talking to anyone they see, stopping by tents, checking under freeways, and knocking on RV doors. The team has their own truck they can use to give people rides. They also have a lot of discretion. There are no quotas to meet. If they need to, they'll spend a whole day with one person, helping them get to the DMV to apply for a state ID, for example.
You guys doing okay?
You might have heard stories like this before. There are plenty of nonprofit workers that do this kind of outreach. But what sets the HOME team apart is that it's a city unit, one that's separate from the police, but still has resources, support, and direct connections to other city departments. Here's Hector Hueso.
We are basically making the mold for this program that we have. We started it. So we are able to kind of work things in a way that makes it easier for us or better for us to go out there and help the clients out there.
The approach is based on an outreach team in La Mesa. In that program's first year, homelessness decreased by 1/3, and it hasn't gone back up. Researchers and advocates say those results make sense. These types of programs can really work. In National City, it's only been about 10 months. But officials say it's already making a difference here, too.
We've been able to help people out, get them off the street. We've been able to clear the streets, and at the same time, we know everybody who's out there, too.
But National City is also at a bit of a crossroads. Just a month after the HOME team got started last year, the city of San Diego passed its controversial camping ban that gave the city more power to force unhoused residents to move. Since then, officials in National City say they're seeing more and more people they don't recognize.
Yeah, see, there's a new guy right there. We haven't seen that guy before.
Chula Vista, directly to the south, is also considering its own ban. And city leaders in National City say they're feeling pressure to do the same. Some experts warn that a ban in National City might undermine the work of the HOME team.
It's going to hurt the relationships that the outreach workers have made with these people.
Rachel Hayes is a homelessness advocate with lived experience. Until last year, she was living in a tent in downtown San Diego.
Because they're not going to be able to find them. It's going to cause harm. It's going to add more trauma. to people who already have a very traumatic life.
This debate shows how decisions made in one city can totally transform what happens in another. Decisions like an encampment ban and like a home team. Kori Suzuki, KPBS News, National City.
Out to more of the Caltrans state property areas and